Welcome to Ambassador's Daily Banquet. I am God's servant David F. Nwefulu. Prepare your heart for fresh revelation that will empower your faith.
So, have you ever thought about what separates a leader who's just successful for a moment from one who leaves a real, lasting legacy? Well, today we're diving into a text that makes a pretty bold claim. It argues that the secret sauce, the one thing that really matters, is integrity, specifically from a faith-based perspective. So let's break down what that actually means.
Right off the bat, the source gives us this really powerful image. It says integrity is the backbone of leadership. And that's not just some nice sounding phrase. The point they're making is that integrity isn't just another good quality on a checklist. No, it's the core structure. It's what holds everything else up and lets a leader stand tall, especially when things get tough.
Okay, so integrity is a big word, right? What exactly does this text mean when it uses it? Well, they break it down into this kind of three-part formula. It's a mix of honesty in what you say, consistency in what you do, and this deep-seated moral excellence in all your actions. The idea is true integrity is when those three things aren't just present, but they're perfectly in sync. So, once we've got that definition down, the text introduces what it calls the foundation for all of this. It's a really simple but kind of profound idea. They call it the yeah principle. And this is where things get really interesting.
And here it is, the verse from Matthew that's the anchor for this whole argument. It's super direct. It basically says, let your communication be yay, nay, nay. In other words, your yes should mean yes, and your no should mean no. Period. The text argues that the second you start adding a but, or a maybe, or any of those little qualifiers, that's when you start wandering away from integrity. It's like you're heading into a danger zone.
So you can almost picture it like a fork in the road, right? On one path, you've got the simple yeah, nay. According to the source, that's the path to truth, transparency, and building real solid trust. But the other path, the one where you add whatsoever is more, well, that's seen as the road to compromise. It's where you lose credibility. And the text doesn't mince words. It calls it the path that cometh of evil. Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, but what about when things get really hard? Under extreme pressure? To answer that, the text brings up a classic case study to show how this works in real life. We're talking about the story of Joseph in Egypt, a perfect example of integrity facing some seriously tough times. The source lays out Joseph's journey in these 4 key stages, and each one is like a major test of his character. First, he resists temptation, even when it comes with an offer of power. Then, he gets falsely accused and thrown in prison, but he endures it without becoming bitter. And through all that hardship, he never wavers from his principles. He stays completely consistent. And here's the kicker, the big takeaway. It's because of this unwavering integrity, proven over and over again, that he eventually earns the trust to basically run an entire country.
All right, so after that really powerful story from the past, the text does something important. It pivots. It brings it all right into the here and now. It kind of turns the spotlight from Joseph directly onto us and asks, okay, so how does this apply to leadership today? And it poses this one really direct, kind of challenging question. It's a gut check moment. It's asking us to really look in the mirror and ask ourselves, are my words and my actions actually lined up with the truth I say I believe in? It's a huge call for personal accountability, right?
But the source doesn't just drop that heavy question and walk away. It actually gives us a game plan, a way to commit. It says, first, you need to declare it. Make it known that integrity is your guiding star. Then, you have to actually uphold honesty in all your interactions. You've got to be consistent in your decisions. And maybe most importantly, you have to be the model of moral excellence for everyone around you. So you might be wondering, why all this intense focus on individual leadership? Well, to get that, we kind of have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. See, this document we're looking at isn't just some philosophical essay. It's actually a call to action that's part of a much, much larger mission.
Yeah, this whole conversation about integrity is happening inside the framework of a mission called Operation 500 Million Souls for Christ. And the text lays out 3 specific ways for people to get involved. You can become a prayer partner, a volunteer missionary, or what they call a kingdom investor, which involves financial support.
And it's not just about asking for help. The document itself is a practical tool for people who join the community. It includes things like prayers for salvation and even a free ebook for new believers. It's all designed to give people the resources they need right from the start.
And then the source brings it all home with this one final powerful thought. It draws a really clear line in the sand. Leadership without integrity?
Sure, you might get some temporary success, you might win for a season, but the text argues it will always lack what it calls eternal significance. The core message is that you just can't have a real, lasting impact without that solid moral foundation.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one this whole explainer is building towards. After looking at this text and its intense focus on honesty, on consistency, and on moral character, it makes you stop and think, doesn't it? What in your own life really defines a leader's lasting impact?
You're going to spell Jesus and the last
Thank you for watching. Please share, like, and comment. Your host, God7, David F. Wafulu.